Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's been a few weeks since we've done one, and this will be quick. I know I say that every time, but I will make this one quicker than normal. Basically, just wanted to let everybody know that we did get the 1883S GSA Morgan Dollar back from PCGS. They had no problem fixing the label complimentary. This was the dollar that was in the GSA Soft Pack that was damaged and couldn't be certified in the holder. The holder itself was trimmed down to pretty much the minimum size in order to, I don't know what the original or previous collector was thinking, but fortunately he did not trim it to the point where the coin or the GSA capsule integrity was broken, if you will. Those two sections of the plastic packaging were intact, so PCGS was able to authenticate the 83S as a GSA dollar, and they fixed the label. They sent me a label from FedEx. They fixed it complimentary, and I just wanted to, there was some comments, some people questioning whether that would happen, or flat out telling me they don't do that. And happy to say that that was not the case. This is not that dollar. Most of you probably know what this is. This is a PCGS Morgan dollar, graded MS62. Better date, 1890. Nothing spectacular other than the fact that it's a doily slab, a doily holder. One of PCGS rarest, not the rarest, but one of the rarer, only in production from September through October of 1987. So that means probably only maybe, I don't even know how many thousand were slabbed with the doily. I don't know how many they do in that month and a half, 45, 50 days. I don't know if they do 1,000 a day or 50,000 a day then, but suffice to say, they're not all still in existence, and especially the first few years after the doily, some were sent back in for resubmission or reconsideration, or for cross to NGC in some cases, or cracked out and resubmitted for a better grade. Some have been lost, I'm sure. Some have been damaged. So now, interesting thing about this doily coin, when you enter the cert number in the cert verify, it confirms everything you see, 1890 818 3930. It says the last auction appearance of this coin was a heritage auction in 2004. And if you pull up that heritage auction and log in, you'll see that the coin itself is absolutely the same coin, same holder, same doily holder, same bag mark, same everything. Sold for $40-something, $48 in 2004, 20 years ago. Nowadays, these doilies are selling for several hundred, no matter what the coin. I don't want to tell you what I paid for this one. It was in an online auction, and sadly, there's a chip, and the holder itself is starting to come apart. In fact, I would venture to say it's probably, I could probably rip it apart with my hands, which is extremely unfortunate. The dangers of online auctions, not eBay, but a lot of the online auction houses are, there's no I don't even ask the guy for a return. I just, note who it was, and will tend to stay away because, I honor that, that's the gamble you take. I won't badmouth the guy or do any of that stuff. I'm not going to tell you who it was or what auction website it was. It's bad business, and but maybe not really. Let me take that back. It's not so much that it's bad business. These guys, you have to understand from an auction house standpoint, their fiduciary responsibility is to the client, their client. Their job is to maximize and get every, the most money they can for them. and that's all well and good. They're not third-party graders, so when they sell raw coins, I have no problem with them not attaching grades or offering an opinion on whether the coin was cleaned or not. I strongly recommend that you only bid on auctions, online auctions, for who you know the seller very well, or you have the opportunity to do an in-person viewing. It's very difficult to pick up on problems on coins through any type of photography. And, people see a raw coin, it looks all well and good, certain angles, the look of the coin will change for sure, but it's very hard to pick up hairlines on cameras. Even if you're not intentionally trying to blind them out, if you will, even just regular angles. I take lots of coin photos, and generally for me, thank God, the pictures come out usually worse than the quality of the coin. So that to me is good. I'd rather the customer be pleasantly surprised rather than disappointed. It affects my sales, obviously, and but that's okay. I'm fine with that. But my point is, there's a lot of things that can go wrong if you're bidding on coins not even sight unseen. They're sight seen, but not in hand. There's a big difference, and I would definitely recommend to only bid on coins that you know the seller, know the auction house, or have the opportunity to go and view the lots in hand, which is 90% of the time what I do. I just stumbled across a certain auction. I saw the Doily. I've never owned one, so 30 years later, just for whatever reason, it was kind of a spontaneous purchase, which again goes against what I normally do. I bit the apple, the forbidden apple, and this is the price you pay. But the point I started to make about whether it was bad business, it's not so much bad business. They're dealing in volume. They've got a lot going on. But I have a hard time believing that he didn't recognize or identify the slab as having an issue. And I think that should have been stated. I think transparency is important. I'm fine, like I said, for them to say, not mention whether they think a coin has been cleaned or whether it's XF versus VF, Mint State versus AU. I'm fine with all that stuff. And that stuff is very hard to differentiate on an online auction. These are all reasons, unless you're getting an incredible deal, and you really should go into these online raw coin auctions or even certain certified coins and expect the worst. So if there's a certain coin and you say to yourself, what would I pay for that coin if it were cleaned, if it were harshly cleaned, if it had a problem, if it was, God forbid, plugged and holed and you just didn't see it in the pictures, or there was a rim problem. You pay, say, $500 for that coin in a problem-free XF40, but if it was harshly cleaned and VF details, maybe you're only at $100. So I would definitely have some sort of strategy like that, and I normally do. Again, this was a spontaneous purchase. But enough on that. So that's this Doily situation. I did message PCGS just out of curiosity. There's the crack, just to see if they could repair the slab. But I'm 99% sure they can't. They don't have, there's a couple things going on with repairing this slab. I'm sure they can authenticate the coin. I'm sure they can authenticate the cert, and it matches the heritage auction, which is fortunate. The picture is exactly the same. Even if this slab were to have been opened by somebody and resealed, which is possible, but again, this coin is definitely the same one. But I think the problem is they don't have the same materials exactly that this slab was made from back then. They have, when I say the same materials, I mean the same patterns, the same the machinery set up to, basically it's no longer an original Doily slab if they restore it, if you will. It's almost like buying an antique car that is no longer original, and all the you know, the frame was bent, and now they're you know, not bondoing it, but they've, you know, reconditioned it. It's no longer an original, and I think that definitely would impact their integrity. So that alone leads me to think that they would definitely not. You'd basically be SOL, and it is what it is. So on the, I don't want to reveal my name here or my address so much, so I'm trying to be careful, but it was the GSA Soft Pack, and this was the paperwork I filled out. The orange marker is them, mechanical error, so forth and so on. $1,000 declared value, a little on the high side, but probably not that high. That's my name and address and all that, and you know, the whole thing was comped, but you know, I got to give PCGS credit. They send you back the original paperwork. They send you back the packing slip. Mechanical error plus, I like that. 83S, $55. AU55. The original grading fee, that was for the grade, the variety, not variety, but the label. You know, so $77 just for this coin. It's a lot of money for one coin, right? And then inside that is not a body bag. This is the email string. And instructions. And you know, they have you do the mechanical errors at the express service level, which is great. There's your GSA. And this is the GSA token and what's left of the plastic. So this is the soft pack it came out of. So we keep that, we keep this, because now we can trace its heritage. I'll even keep all the paperwork, and I'll keep it all in this one holder, so that if the day or time comes that I do want to sell it, we have the history of what happened with that coin. Now, in other recent auctions, we talk about Doily slabs real quick. We'll end this video shortly. There was another old slab. This is NCI. NCI. I want to say it's National Certification something. I forget. They don't even put their name on it, which is very interesting. Split grading. This is circa 1987, 88. Nice coin. Not a 65. A little overgraded for sure. 63, maybe 4. A little bit of reflectivity, not so much. Nice toning, nice luster. Just a nice coin. But I love the, I love that. So that's a slab you don't see very often. And then I think I've shown this is not a PCI. Not a PCI, it's not what you think it is. I think greeting cards, Hallmark. And if you don't know the story, PCI was acquired by Hallmark in the 80s. And then Hallmark went out of business and PCI bought them back. And that's when they turned it from green to the tan slabs. I'm sure you all are familiar with AccuGrades. I've got a bunch of these, but this particular one is pretty scarce. An 81cc and an AccuGrade 63 holder. I do agree with that grade as well. A little bit of chatter on the cheek, but it's right in line with that grade level. Typical, clean reverse. Nice white coin, full luster. I have an AccuGrade St. Gaudens I've shown in previous videos. $20 double eagle St. Gaudens, 1924, which I've kept in that holder. And then we've shown this coin before. I love the old ANA first and second generation slabs. The seated $half is just really pretty. R5, it's a WB102 variety, which is the super small micro O mint mark. And of course I've shown this before, probably more than once. It's 1921 piece dollar. But I haven't shown this one. 1927 D piece dollar, which is another fairly new acquisition in a 62 holder. And if you're not familiar with that label, some of you might be. That goes back to, I want to say 2011 or 12, Teletrade. Teletrade was before Ian and Raylene launched Great Collections. Ian was a instrumental part of the success of Teletrade. Teletrade was extremely successful auction house from the early 2000s, or even actually mid to late 90s, through about 2012. Teletrade went under. Ian launched Great Collections right around that time. And the rest, as they say, is history. There was one other coin I wanted to show you. Let me grab it. I moved it. Hold on. All right. Sorry for that. Thought I had it here in front of me. So, yeah. So, we had this one, 79.0, an MS62, and an ANA first generation slab. And we added another in an Annex soapbox. I loved the toning and the slightly reflective surfaces. I love the, they're not proof-like, but I just like that type of luster, that glassy, almost proof-like, as opposed to satiny. My preference is that, that reflective, glassy type luster. It does tend to show the contact marks a lot more than the satiny luster, the snow soft white, satiny being more like that's not quite satiny, but what was the one that I just had a minute ago that was, the 81cc in the Antiquated was definitely a satiny luster, right? It's like a soft powder. It's definitely satiny. So that's that luster versus, the almost PL. You can see how with a little more reflection that this would, it's not there, but it's getting there, if you will. It's not like you're either pregnant or you're not. You're either proof-like or you're not. There is many shades of gray. It's just whether or not they will attribute it as such. All right, that will wrap it up on this video. So I just wanted to share primarily about the GSA. We have a lot of submissions at PCGS and a lot of nice coins that will be back soon. And hope everyone is doing well. Please feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions. It's samscoinsandheavymetal.com. We're launching a new website soon. We might be launching a different URL in the upcoming months, but for now it's samscoinsandheavymetal.com, samscoinsandheavymetal@gmail.com. Find us on eBay under the same name with an underscore in between each word. Like, comment, subscribe if you're so inclined. Thank you, folks. Have a great evening.